Hello, I'm Kelly and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Animal Instinct. It's Saturday the 30th of November 2024 and I'm back with my monthly cross-stitching update. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you're well and are enjoying your stitching. Thank you to all of my existing subscribers and welcome if you're new. I'm getting tantalisingly close to 4,000 subscribers, which is absolutely incredible. It's definitely not about the numbers. I've been doing this for quite a few years now. It's just been a slow increase over time. I worked out that when I do my end of year whip parade, it's going to be the 6th one I've done. So I have been going at this for quite some time now. But if you're not yet subscribed and you'd like to see more of my stitching, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel. So this is going to be my last monthly update for the year. It's been a really long year and I can't wait to have a break soon. Not from Flosstube, just a break from work and just to have a bit of time to relax, hopefully. I've had a fairly good month stitching in November. I don't have too many projects though, so I think it's going to be probably a fairly short update. But the projects I have worked on, I've done quite a bit on. And then after I've shown you what I've stitched on, I have some fun plans for the rest of the year. So the first stitching I did from when I filmed last was Living on a Rainbow, Book of Shadows. And I've been working diligently on this every month for the last, I don't know, half of the year, I guess, to try and get it all finished, ready in time to fully finish in December. So more on my plans at the end, but November I just had 2 more pages of the book to stitch, so it'll end up hopefully into a little 3D book and you can, you know, turn the pages. So the last 2 pages were the ghost. I'm not sure if you can hear Reggie, my cat, eating in the background. It was the only way I could shut him up because he was just running around yowling, so I think he was hungry. Anyway, and the zombie. So the sort of stitching around the edge is just for guidance for when we're putting it all together. So I'm really hoping it comes together nicely. I think it might be a bit of a challenge, but we'll see how we go. Yeah. So this can be actually considered a finish because I've finished all the cross stitching. It's just got a lot of construction still to go. So I've got my 8 pages. These ones are done on 32 count linen in vintage country mocha. And I don't have it to hand, but then the cover, the front cover, the spine and the back cover are on Ada. I think it was 18 count Ada, it might have been 16, can't remember. But hopefully when I come back with my next stitching update, which will be in the new year, I really hope to show you a finished book, which will be very exciting. So I spent a couple of days getting those 2 pages done and I think it was about 1,000 stitches. Then I was having a chat with Deb Wilson from Deb Wilson Stitches. If you're not watching her on Flosstube, I do recommend you go and have a look at her channel. She is a fellow Aussie Flosstuber and she stitches on a lot of, like a variety of projects and she gets a lot of stitching in. Anyway, I was having a chat with her because I was trying to work out which one of my whips I could use as a travel piece to have out and about on the go. And she suggested this next one. And it's not going to be a travel piece because I finished it. I'm not sure if I've got a photo from where I was last time. If I do, I'll pop it in, but probably doesn't really matter. It is my Welsh castle, so Beaumaris castle, and it was a gift from my mum sometime in, I think I started it in 2017, so she probably gave it to me 2016, 2017, when she went on a holiday to the UK. She didn't visit the castle, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, that was a present from her. And I just really enjoyed working on it. So I worked on it for 7 days and I actually did 3,388 stitches apparently. And here is the finish. So it was a kit. It came with this piece of 16 count Aida. All the threads are anchor threads. I love the shading. It's fairly simple but really effective. And I did look up the actual castle and it does look just like this. Down the bottom in the water there's a lot of blends and it kind of gives it some depth, and you get the shadows, and then you've got those couple of very simple swans. And if I come in, I'm not sure if that's focusing, but one's got its head underwater and the other one has its head above water, and you can see that's one lone orange stitch. Now the name of the castle was charted in English and they also provided the Welsh, so I decided to stitch that. And yeah, it's really nice to get a really old project finished. It's possibly my oldest project, I'm not really sure. But I'm so pleased to have that one done. Then I was on a bit of a finishing kick and I was having a look to see what else I might be able to get to a finish or close to a finish. And I pulled out Moonglow by Nora Corbett. I'm just looking. Okay. So when I worked on it last time, I had finished all the stitching, all the cross stitching and the back stitching, and I just had the beads to go. So I did spend, I think I was really keen to get it done, and I did about maybe a third of the beading and I was totally done. Needed a break. That was towards the start of November, and I've only just come back to it this week and finished it off. And I'm not sure how well you can see how pretty it is, but that is a finish. So it's Moonglow by Nora Corbett, and it's on 32 count Belfast linen in antique teal from XG Design. The stitching is done in the Cold for DMC and Karen water lilies, and then the beads are Cold for. I'll come in a little bit closer, there's quite a few. Now interestingly, if I come in on the berry things, these ones, they're quite chunky beads actually. So I think they look really good as like dark berries, but if you have a look at the model stitch on the front cover of the pattern, they are these white beads, and I just couldn't work out what was going on because I thought maybe I'd ordered the wrong one or been sent the wrong one, but actually the ones I've used are the Cold for beads. It's just that if you want the if you want it to look just like this, they've used a different bead for just the berries on here and on this side too. So just bear that in mind if you are stitching this. But yeah, I'm really happy with how mine has turned out. There is another one in this series, can't remember what it's called, but I'll probably do that eventually too. Yeah, very happy with that. It's totally blown out the colour of the fabric. It is a really nice teal. I've got the light blaring on me because again it's a bit gloomy outside. So 3 finishes in November. Never would have expected that. What was next? Oh yes, so with 3 finishes I decided to have a new start, unplanned new start. I have done pretty well this year, not starting things spontaneously. So yeah, no regrets on this one. So this is a stitch along and it's only just started. I'd seen some sneak peeks and then I saw the first installment stitched a little bit on Instagram and I was just like, yep, I need to do that one. And so it's the Secret Grove Stitch Along by Needlelot Designs. And I think based on the recommended fabrics, it's kind of like a early evening sort of sky is sort of what you're going for with your fabric. I had a look in my stash and I didn't really have anything that suitable. So I did have a bottle of Rip dye though that I'd never used before. I've only ever used like coffee and tea dye. I've never used like proper dye, but it was the right colour. It was indigo, and I had some 32 count even weave of some description. And I had a go at dyeing. I just followed the instructions on the Rip dye website, and it's certainly not fancy. I didn't aim to get any, you know, speckles or patterns or mottling. It's just solid colour, but I'm really happy with the colour. So that's it. So it's like a denim almost. You get the idea. And then I had a few days off in November, and I just went along and stitched the first instalment pretty quickly. Three days it took me. It was about 2,400 stitches. And this is what I've done. So this is just the first instalment. Just beautiful, the shading effect of the browns in the tree and the trunk and the branches, and then the greens in the bush. I just think it's very, very effective. And I'm so happy with how the fabric's turned out. I did choose to stitch this key with some gold Krynic. I had my Krynic from Book of Shadows still out, so I decided why not make a gold key. Now the second instalment has come out. I haven't started it yet, but I look forward to doing that soon. So that's the Secret Grove Stitch Along by Needlelot Designs. And I can't wait to see yeah, what else turns up on there. All right, I've got 2 more projects, so yes, pretty short update from me. Next one is Firefly. So I mentioned Firefly last time. I often mention it because I always feel a bit guilty about not working on it. Firefly is my largest project. It's amazing, I love it, but yeah, for some reason this year I haven't done as much on it as I really wanted to. But I mentioned it last time and I had plenty of people commenting that they'd like to see it again. So I've worked on it. I'll pop a photo in of what it's going to look like. So it's based on the TV show Firefly, except the artist Jay Parks has switched the human characters for cats. Because why not? So this is a Gecko Rouge kit. I started it in 2019 and just slowly chipping away at it. Now I've got I went looking for a photo of where I was last time, and I probably could go through past Flosstubes to get a screenshot, but I did find this photo and I'll put it up on the screen just to give you an idea of what I have to put up with sometimes. So especially when it's cold. I don't know if you can tell, there's 2 cats on me. You can definitely see Jemima sitting on my chest, and just to the left, I think it is, like underneath the frame, you might be able to see a bit of orange, and that's Reggie. So he always claims my lap, and then when it's cold, Jemima wants to come and sit on me too, but he will not let her on my lap unless he's fast asleep, and then she'll sort of sneak on up. But no, she tries to have a bit of a barrier, so it works for her to be on top of my stitching and him underneath. It's nuts. Thankfully it's getting too warm now for that, and neither of them are really wanting to sit on my lap, which is fine with me. I think you can see in this photo I was working on the top left page, which the way the photo's oriented, it's sort of down the bottom left, I think. Hopefully it's not going to be switched for you. But so last time I had worked my way from the middle across to the very top left of the whole piece, and I had stitched I think it was 2 rows of stitches deep to get me across to that first page, and I had done a bit more than that photo. I had completely finished that first page. So if you keep that in mind, there were at least 2 I think there are about 2.5, maybe 3 pages worth of just 2 rows of stitching across, and then there was that first page. So like I said, I had some time off work in November and I just wanted some mindless stitching. And normally I'd like be watching TV or Flosstube or have an audio book on or podcast, but I just didn't want anything. I just ended up putting music on. I put Firefly in the Q-snap. I picked the most abundant colour, which is 939, and I just got to work. And I'm doing the background as half stitches, so it went really quickly. And then, well, I'll just show you. I'll just show you now and then I can explain my approach. So you can picture one top left page done, then a fairly chunky gap. Well, I've done all of that. So the first page is done, second page is done, the third page is done, and this is the fourth page. There's 2 ninja stitches there and a tiny little bit here to do, and that's just about done too. So I got a lot done in November. I worked on it for 11 days and I put in 13,753 stitches. Most of them, the vast majority, were half stitches. So once I'd done all the blue, there's still some other colours in the background, and there's kind of like this haze as well. So yeah, I just went back and filled those in, and then I went and did the stars, which are slow going because they might be anywhere from like 6 to 16 stitches per star, and they are most likely 1 stitch per colour in each star. So I had some really good stitchy days and I had some really low count stitchy days. The last time I worked on it to finish the stars, I did 32 stitches in an evening. But my best day, it was my best day by far. Now I don't differentiate between half stitches and whole stitches when I'm counting. So if you do, that's fine, you can halve it. But I got my very best day when I just was doing 939, 3,549 stitches in. And it's not complete block stitching. I don't know if you can tell, it's not complete block stitching. There's like all these other colours scattered through. So, but there's so much of the blue that there's really only like 1 stitch gap between. So I would look at a row and I'd sort of memorise the pattern. So it might be 8, skip 1, 6, skip 1, 4, skip 1, 7. So in my mind, I'd be going 8, 6, 4, 7. If I just said that the right way, but you know what I mean. And so I was just constantly thinking of my little pattern that I needed to fill in, and came together nicely. And the other thing I just want to show you is that I have made a pretty decent start on the spaceship. So you can see the spaceship coming in here. I can't wait to stitch that. I still have to finish all of this, like the stars, so you can see how many stitches there are per star, and they'll most likely be a different colour, like each stitch a different colour. But I'm so happy with that. The thing that kind of made me carry on with it was that I saw how close I was to 200,000 stitches done on the whole piece, and I just thought, oh, imagine making it to 200,000. That's a great sort of milestone to aim for. So I did, I made it to, I think I'm at 200,000, I think it's 859 or something like that. And I'm, oh, I don't have it written down, 26.95% complete on the whole thing, I think. Now, because I've got it out, I'm not going to work on it before I do my whip parade next week. But I thought I would give you a little sneak peek of what it's looking like now. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, I probably won't get this all in one. So I'll just pan upwards for now. I'll show it properly when I do my whip parade. But so I've basically done, except for those stars that need to be filled in, the top row of pages that you can see, that takes me across to halfway. And then, so we'll come up, I might fold it in so I can see what I'm doing. There's Simon. Oh God, it's too big. Simon, there we go. Captain over there, and I haven't finished River. She needs her, oh, I think her face is finished, yeah. But it's just her shoulders and chest. And the captain is all done. And then there's nothing on the other half. There's so much to go. But can you see the top row of pages is about half. So probably, yeah, where my fingers are tapping, that's the other edge. Ridiculous. I don't know what I was just showing you, I couldn't see. But I'll try and get it out properly next week. All right, and then I needed a break from all that 10 stitch and the confetti stars. So I pulled out, I've got it here, it's probably not even worth showing, but anyway. It's Love by Dany Lizeth. It's a Gecko Rouge kit. I'll pop a photo in of what it's gonna look like. It's the two cats with their noses touching. And I just put 50 stitches in last night. I won't put a before picture in because, yeah, there's really not a huge amount of difference. But this is where it's up to, and I'm not going to take it out of the key snap today. It still doesn't look like anything. But this is the kitten's head. So that's the bit I'm focusing on, and then its mum's nose is up here, booping up there. So yeah, it's nice to work on this one again. That is, oh no. I think it's 25 count Lagana. I switched it out from the kit fabric, and I think it's Stormy Skies, but don't quote me on that. I'll know that for sure next week at the Boot Parade. All right, so that's all my stitching in November. I'm not sure how much I'll get done in the next little while. So I don't have like set stitchy plans except for one thing for December. We'll just wait and see what happens. Like I said, next weekend, I hope to film my end of year whip parade. I normally do it later in the year, but that's not going to work for me this year, so I'm going to attempt to do it next weekend. I have so much on, so I really hope I can fit it in because it takes forever, but I have to do it. And then after that, I'm very excited. I am going on a long overdue holiday. It's going to be my first overseas holiday in 7 years. And it's going to be my very first cold Christmas. I've been out of Australia for Christmas, I think 3 times, and they were all spent in the tropics. So I've never had a cold Christmas, but I'm very excited. I'm coming over to England for Christmas and New Year's. And even more exciting, after many years of friendship, I'm finally going to meet Joe from Belushi Stitches. Can't wait, Joe, not long to go now. I'm also hoping to meet some other friends while I'm there, and I just can't wait. I've got 5 days left at work. I've been counting down for ages, and it's so close, so can't wait. I have purchased another stitch along. Couldn't help myself in November. I have bought the Bella Filipina stitch along. Now I'm having a blank on the name. Is it Dark Sirens stitch along? Something like that. I think so. And it's just typical me. I haven't done a Bella Filipina pattern before, I don't think. and this is enormous. It's huge. I think there's 6 sirens in it, and so far I think they've had 2 releases and it looks just incredible. And the reason I'm mentioning it is because I've bought some fabric from Coffee Craft Fabrics for that stitch along. So I don't have that yet. I will pick that up when I get to England. So I probably won't start that until the new year, I don't think, unless I really feel like I need to start on it while I'm away. Joe and I have both now finished our Book of Shadows stitching. We both started that project in October last year, and so we are going to try to fully finish our books together. So hopefully some moral support will help. And I hope we both end up with really nice little books. What else was I going to say? Oh, so today is going to be my last stitchy update for the year, as I said, and I think my next update will probably be towards the end of January, possibly sooner, earlier in January, but I think I'll aim for the end of the month. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for supporting me and watching my channel this past year, or years if you've been here for a while. I hope you all have an enjoyable festive season and Happy New Year. I will be back to do my whip parade, but otherwise I'll see you in January. So until then, happy stitching. See ya.